Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Newman. I'm the video and webinar producer here at Wowza Media Systems, and today I'm going to be going over some of the basic ideas and pages inside of the UI for Wowza Streaming Engine. So the first thing that I want to point out is that I do have Wowza Streaming Engine running in the background, and here on the sign-in page I just want to address something quickly. A little bit later on we're going to be talking about source authentication, which also requires a username and password, but that is not what this page is. This page is just going to be the login that you created when you initially installed Wowza Streaming Engine. This is a locally saved username and password, again, that you create when you initially install Wowza Streaming Engine. So once I sign in, I'm just going to go right up here to Applications. Now obviously we can add an application, but for today I'm just going to be explaining some of the UI things. So I'm just going to click on Live. Now this first page is going to give us sort of an overview of what our stream is, what kind of playback types we have, a few different options down here that we can change for the stream. What I really want to call attention to is this right-hand column. Not only is this going to be a really great source moving forward on really all of these tabs that we move through, but it gives us a lot of information in terms of definitions if things are a little bit hazy for you. Things like MPEG dash or low latency streaming, it's going to provide some descriptions and definitions of what these things are. Now the next area we're going to move to is sources. Sources is really just going to be where your live stream is coming from. This is generally going to be an encoder or a camera. You can see we've got these sort of easy use buttons here with companies like JVC and Panasonic, but if you don't have any of those, you can actually go right down here to other encoders for any encoders that aren't listed. Again, on the right hand side, I want to call attention to this application connection setting. If you are looking to set up an RTMP or IP camera, this is the information you're going to be looking for. It's available on the right hand side here under sources, or if you just go right back to that home page, it's going to be here on the front as well. Next, we're going to move on to incoming streams. This is really just going to be encoders or cameras that have connected with Wowza Streaming Engine and are pushing to it. So I've set up a basic one here for this tutorial. It's going to show me some information like who is watching what kind of stream, what kind of protocol there. You can see I've got about 2.5 megabits coming in, none going out because nobody's watching my stream right now. But if we go up here to test players, this is where you can find the stream URL for those different protocols or formats that you're using. So you'll see that when I click here onto Adobe RTMP, that URL comes up right here. Or if I go to Apple HLS, again, it is going to change. And you are going to want to use a different URL depending on the player that you're embedding that video to. Next, we're going to move on to stream targets. Stream targets are for when you want to push to a very specific destination. You can see I've already set up one here for Facebook Live. If you did want to add more, just go to Add Stream Target. From here you can publish directly to Wowza CDN or any number of other stream targets that we've set up, or we have some more generic options here down at the bottom for things like MPEG TS and RTMP. I'm actually going to skip the latter 5 of these on the list and head straight to server. Now when you click on server, this first server setup page, it's going to show you a little bit of information. The main thing I want to show is that this is where you can find your license key. Obviously there's some X's there, but if I hit edit, it will show you the full license key if you need to reference that for the future. Next, I'm just going to move on to source authentication. This is going to be really important because it basically means that whatever encoder or camera you're using, this is how it authenticates to work with Wowza Streaming Engine. So without this, somebody could essentially just get any of my IP information, host name, and push a stream directly to Wowza Streaming Engine. But luckily, because of source authentication, it requires this username and password that you get to choose and create for that specific live stream so that you know that whoever's pushing to it is supposed to be doing so. The last thing we're going to be looking at is just this help link on the upper right hand side of the page. This is a really great resource for really all things Wowza Streaming Engine. It has a lot of really great articles on how to connect, on how to troubleshoot, and if for some reason you can't find your answer in there, you can always go right over to our forums and ask a question. A lot of really great information comes back from our community members. We also try to monitor those as much as we can, so if a question is not answered, we can try to get it answered for you. So hopefully you found this tutorial helpful, and take care.